It seemed actually like the laughter of young saints. The uncontrollable laughter of children who were trying not to be heard, but who, in a moment or so, as their excitement mounted, would burst to burst. What in heaven's name was he dreaming of? What in heaven's name did he hear? Was he losing his reason and thinking he heard things which were not human ears? Was it that the clear voice had meant? And then the moment came, the incredible moment when his sounds forgot to hush themselves. The pit ran faster and faster. They were nearing the garden. There was kick-strong young breathing and a wide upright of laughing shoes. It could not be contained, and the door in the world, and the door in the world was flung wide open. The sheet of ivy swinging back, and the boy burst through it. The first speed, and without seeing the outsider, dashed almost into his arms. Mr. Craven had extended them just in time to save him from falling as a result of his unseen dash against him. And when he held him away to look at him, in amazement at his being there, he truly gasped for breath. He was a tall boy, and a handsome one. He was glowing with life, and his running had sent splendid color leaping to his face. He threw the thick hair back from his forehead and lifted a pair of strange gray eyes full of boyish laughter and gleaming with black lashes like a fringe. It was the eyes which made Mr. Craven gasp. Who was who? He stammered. He was not. While Colin had expected this was not what he had planned. He had never thought of such a meeting, and yet to come dashing out, winning a race. Perhaps it was even better. He drew himself up to his very tallest, Mary, who had been running with him, and had dashed through the door too. Believed that he managed to make himself look taller than he had ever looked before. Inches taller. Father, he said, I'm Colin. You can't believe it. I scarcely can myself. I'm Colin. Like Mrs. Medlock, he did not understand what his father meant when he said hurriedly, in the garden, yes, hurried on Colin. It was the garden that did it, and Mary, and Deacon, and the creatures, and the magic. No one knows. We kept it to tell you. When you came, I'm Mary. I can be Mary in a race. I'm going to be an athlete. He said it all so like a healthy boy. His face flushed, his words trembling over each other in his eagerness. Then Mr. Craven's soul shook with unbelieving joy. Colin put out his hand and laid it on his father's arm. Aren't you glad, Father? He ended. Aren't you glad I'm going to live forever and ever and ever? Mr. Craven put his hands on both the boy's shoulders and held him still. He knew. He dared not even try to speak for a moment. Take me into the garden. My boy, he said, unless they tell me all about it. And so they let him in. The place was a wilderness of autumn, gold and purple, and violet blue, and flaming scarlet, and on every side were shivers of late lilies standing together, lilies which were white and ruby. He remembered well when the first of them had been planted, that just at this season of the year, a day late, Lorries should rebuild themselves. Later roses climbed and hung and clustered, and the sunshine deepening. The hue of the yellowing trees made the vampire that once stood in an embroidered temple of gold. The newcomer stood silent, just as the children had done. When they came into its greatness, he looked round and round. I thought it would be dead, he said. Mary so at first, said Colin, but it came alive. Then they sat down on the dead tree, all but Colin, who wanted to stand while he told the story. I was the strangest thing. It was the strangest thing he had ever heard. Archibald Craven said that it was poor the person in headlong boy passion, mysterious and magic and wild creatures, the weird midnight meeting, the coming of the spring, the passion of insulted pride, which had dragged the young Raja to his pit to defy all the band, with a step to his pace. The old companionship, the play, acting, the great secret so carefully kept, the listener left. Tears came into his eyes, and sometimes tears came into his eyes when he wasn't laughing. The athlete, the lecturer, the scientific discoverer was a love a healthy young human. Now, he said at the end of the story, it need not be a scream anymore, I dare say. It'll frighten them nearly into pitch when they see me. But I'm never going to get into the chair again. I shall walk back with you, Father, to the house. Ben went the steps. Julius rarely took him away from the gardens, but on this occasion he made an excuse to carry some vegetables to the kitchen, and being invited into the servants' hall by Mrs. Medlock to drink a glass of beer, he was on the spot as he had hoped to be when the most dramatic event, Mrs. White Manor had seen during the present generation. Actually, one of the windows looking upon the courtyard gave us a glimpse of the lawn. Mrs. Medlock, knowing Ben had come from the gardens, hoped that he might have caught sight of his master, even by chance of his meeting with Mr. Colin. Did you see either of them? With a step, she asked. Ben took his beer mug from his mouth and wiped his lips with the back of his hand. That I did, he answered with a shrewdly significant air.